that is why it is told as the Grihastha Dharma. So you know very well about the 4 ashrams: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. These are 4 ashrama dharmas. Our scriptures shows this as the way of living based on dharma, artha, kama and moksha. The first 3 purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, are obtained by following the karma kanda of Vedas. This is the way of living, doing nitya karma anushtana, doing naimitika karma. In the previous class, we discussed about nitya karma, like Gayatri, Sandhya Vandanam, etc. In that, Brahmachari, the student who is pursuing for knowledge, should be initiated with Brahmopadesham at the age of 8, and he has to be initiated with Gayatri Mantra to gain the eligibility, adhikaritvam, for this practice of Nitya Karma Anushtanam. He will be provided with Yajnopavitam, the sacred thread. And after getting this initiation, there are some procedures. He is not supposed to sleep in the daytime. He is not supposed to sleep on a mat or mattress or on a cot. These are some practices recommended to maintain the brahmacharya. And he has to do brahma yajnam. He should do an yajna which is called brahma yajna. After getting married, he has to start Agnihotram. It is the Grihastha Dharma. Doing Agnihotram every day is Grihastha Dharma. There are certain procedures to be done, to be followed to practice Agnihotram at the sunrise and at the sunset. There are certain mantras which are praising Suryaha, Prajapatihi, Agnihi, which praises sun, which praises Prajapati, which praises fire. It is a small fire ritual, but it has to be done every day during sunrise and sunset. And he has to do his Nitya Karma Anushtanas as Japa, Gayatri Japa, and other japas he has to do. And for this purpose, a traditional family fire will be maintained. This fire will not be allowed to get cooled down. It will be kept alive by the elders of the family. When this young boy becomes a grihastha, married person, the father will hand over the household Agni to the son. Hereinafter, I am going to get retired. I am going to enter into Vanaprastha ashrama, and now onwards you have to follow this Agni Karya. So it will be transferred to son. And when the Agnihotri dies, the same Agni will be taken to burn his physical body. So, Agni, the word Agni itself has great inner meanings, esoteric meanings. In Kathopanishad, you can see Nachiketas requests Yamaraja, the Brahma Vidyacharya, Yamaraja, the Brahma Vidyacharya Yamaraja is asked by Nachiketa to initiate him into Agni Vidya. So what is that Agni Vidya he mentions? One Agni Vidya is to meditate upon the fire as the creator, sustainer and the destroyer. And another meaning is the Agni, which is the form of light, Prakasha Swarupa Agni, which removes the darkness of ignorance. So the words of Vedas are Agni eva, or only Agni. The Shabda, Veda Shabdas are like Agni. If you know the Vachyartha, that is enough for conducting the life. But that is not enough for Jnanam. You should know the Lakshyartha, the implied meaning. Vachyartha is what? Verbal meaning. Lakshyartha is what? Implied meaning. So the indicated meaning. A person will come every day in Maruti car to the ashram. And one day he is late. And I am telling the student who is seated in the last row, please go and see the Maruti has come or not. What I am telling? My dear son, go out and see whether this Maruti has come or not. He goes out and comes back and says, Swamiji, there is no monkeys or seen outside. Because I told Maruti has come or not. He goes outside and come back and says, I don't see any monkeys. So he has taken only Vachyartha, the verbal meaning of Maruti. But what is the Lakshyartha? The Lakshyartha is Maruti car, and also not only Maruti car, as Bahuvrihi Samasa, it mentions the person who comes in Maruti car. It mentions the person who comes every day in Maruti car. Based on this story, you will be understanding what do you mean by Vachyartha or Lakshyartha. Like that, the word Atman is used in Vedic texts in many meanings. You have to understand the meanings with the context, where it is used, how it is used, what for it is used. Otherwise, it will be misleading. I will show some shlokas from Upanishads which are diverting and confusing. Only there comes the need of a guru. Only a master can show the Lakshyartha. Otherwise, we will be taking the Vachyartha only. We will not be able to understand the Lakshyartha. Now you are clear what is Achyartha, what is Lakshyartha. I will move on to the next topic. So we were discussing about the Grihastha Dharma, the rights of the householder and the elderly person should go for learning higher knowledge, leaving all the belongings behind, all the commitments behind. He has to leave his dear ones without any dependency. One has to move out for learning higher knowledge. He was initiated with Brahmopadesham when he was given Yajnapavitam. But he has no time to think about it. After becoming a Grihastha, he has to earn, look after his wife, family, children, all responsibilities. He earns, spends. I know some people who have spent all their earnings for daughter's marriage and become pauper. Penniless people. They are not worrying about becoming penniless. All I want is to see my daughter's marriage. So this is the lifestyle of Grihastha in material life. But what is advised in Vedic life system is do your duties and detach yourself from the family, from the attachments, from the responsibilities. If this has been followed perfectly, we will never see any home for old age. Why do we see everywhere home for old age? They advertise luxurious apartment, television in every room, because mommy will like to see one movie, mama will like to see cricket. So everybody needs separate TVs. TVs are there in every room. And clubs are there. What clubs? Playing cards, carom board. For whom? For senior citizens who have completed their duties. Senior citizens' homes are offering this. How come you know, Swamiji? This is your question. Once I was searching. Why I was searching, I want to build one senior citizen home. The Dayalaya, what you see today as the Patashala, was designed to keep senior citizens, to maintain senior citizens. When Pujya Swamiji came for laying the stone during the Bhumi Puja, he only said, don't go for senior citizens home. I got shocked. I am depending upon my finance from senior citizens only. How can I build the Dayalaya building? I got stunned when our Guruji told that you are not supposed to build a senior citizen home. And what should I do, Swamiji, with this building? He said, the time will answer. I never understood what will happen. And the building was stopped because I was depending on senior citizens to pay the funds for their rooms. And after Pujya Swamiji's Mahasamadhi, within a very short time, it came up. With some good heart people, it came out. Now this senior citizen home is not there. Dayalaya is a Patashala, which is meant for the seekers of Sri Vidya knowledge and Vedanta knowledge and Samskrita knowledge. So why I'm telling, the Vedic system advises the people who have completed their particular age to quit from the material world and to enter into the world of learning. They have to reach out, they have to meet, surrender themselves to a guru and study Shastra. Nowadays, we see 19 years old boys and girls who are searching for true knowledge. But Vedanta is meant for Shantanam, Mumukshunam, Vitaraginam, who is very silent, who is peaceful in mind, who is totally out of desire, ragas, vitaraginam, mumukshunam, a true seeker. Moktum icha, to get liberation, to get liberation. One who is interested in liberation has to go for the ultimate knowledge. This is our lifestyle. That is called Vanaprastha. What is the important duty of Vanaprastha people? Upasana. Now you have understood what is the real meaning of Upasana? To make them eligible to plant the seed of Jnanam in their heart. It's called Upasana. But nowadays, people think that if you do Upasana, you will gain the blessings of the deity and the deity will give all boons. If you want money, you can do Lakshmi Upasana. If you want to destroy your enemy, you can do some particular deity Upasana for destroying the enemy. If you destroy that enemy, another enemy will come, because enemies are not outside, enemies are within. Kama, Krodha, Mada, Moha, Lopa, Matsarya, Shadripavaha. Kama, Krodha, Mata, Lopa, Moha, Matsarya. The Shadripus, Ripavaha, are inside, within. So you need not destroy the external enemies, you have to try to destroy your own inner enemies. So now we have established a right understanding what is Upasana. That Upasana is called Vidya. For example, Agni Vidya. As Nachiketa request the Brahma Vidyacharya Yamaraja to teach Agni Vidya. That is his second boon who he asked with Yamaraja. That Agni Vidya itself has two meanings. One is the Laukika Agni, another is the Agni of knowledge, the fire of knowledge. Jnanagni. So this is called Upasana. Not to praise and get the love and compassion of a particular deity and get whatever I want in life. You know, in Ramakrishna Paramahamsa story, Swamiji is sitting in the bank of a river and another Swami looks at him and asks the question, what have you attained in your life of saintlyhoodness? Swami says nothing. Yes, somebody asked, Swamiji, what are all the activities in your ashram? I said, ashram is the place where no activities will be there. If activities are there, it is karma. We don't have activities. We are chumma. Puja Swamiji used to say, we are chumma. Chumma irukkirathu. What are the activities in your ashram? No activities. Then only it can be called as ashram. If we are having so many activities, then that is not ashram. That is samsara. So this person is asking Swamiji, what you have attained in your life of tapasya? He says nothing. Then, you know what I have attained? He walks over the water and shows his talent. He crosses the river. He walks on the water and smiles at Swamiji. What, Swamiji? You are a waste. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is asking that man, okay, Swamiji, how long you did tapas for attaining this ability of walking over water? He said, I did 75 years of tapas. Then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa repeats, if you pay 75 paisa, if you pay in those days annas, I am telling in paisa, Indian paisa calculation. In those days, anna, the Indian money was called as anna. If you pay some annas, the boatman will take you and leave you on the other side of the river. Why do you spend 75 years? You can spend 75 paisa. Why do you spend 75 years? That is not tapas. To gain siddhis, if you are depending on tapas, that is not tapas. In Shastra, it was not told. It may be a part of the vidya, but it is not the main criteria. It is not the main lakshya vivaksha. What is the main lakshya vivaksha? Param. Understanding the Brahman, self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is the aim of any vidya. Any vidya, whether it may be Agni Vidya, or Sri Vidya, or Atma Vidya, or Mahavidya, or Nachiketa Vidya, whatever may be the Vidya, I am going to show you a script of 32 Vidyas. There are 32 Vidyas told in Shastra. If possible, it's the right time to show. They are available in all Upanishads, various meditations. And one more thing I would like to highlight, Vidya means Upasana, Upasana means meditation. And I will explain further about this Dhyanam. Now we will see what are the Vidyas, Sad Vidya. Sad Vidya is told in Chandogya Upanishad. Brahman as the base of all being is the main alambanam. Alambanam means the central concentration to be meditated upon. The centralized subject matter to be contemplated upon. Antaraditya Vidya. Antar means inner, Aditya means sun, considering Brahman as the inner controller of the sun. Why sun rises and sets? Because of Brahman. Antaraditya Vidya. We will highlight. Sadvidya, Antaraditya Vidya. The scripts will come. Don't worry. Don't write and all. I will send you the scripts. Simple. Akasha Vidya. Sadvidya, Antaraditya Vidya, Akasha Vidya, Prana Vidya. Prana Vidya is meditating upon the prana. All these are from Chandogya Upanishad. Meditating Brahman as the cosmic ether, Akash Vidya. Paranjoti Vidya. Paramjoti Vidya. Param means Brahman. Jyoti means the light. Prakasha Rupa. Paranjoti Vidya. Ultimate light. Shandilya Vidya. Shandilya is the name of a sage who has taught this Vidya. Upakoshala Vidya. Taught by Upakoshala. Vaishvanara Vidya. Meditating upon Brahman as the universal being. In English, they will use B capital to indicate Brahman, being. Bhuma Vidya, Brahman as the greatest one. Satyakama Vidya. Satyakama Jabala is the name of a sage and he has taught on Vidya, that is called Satyakama Vidya. This reference is taken from Chandogya Upanishad. Dahara Vidya, imperceptible ether, Brahman as the imperceptible ether within the heart. Reference Lalita Sahasranama, Dahara Akasha Rupinye Namaha. Lalita Sahasranama has this reference, Dahara Vidya. It is also available in Chandogya Upanishad. Madhu Vidya, Brahman as honey. Samvarga Vidya, seeing Brahman in all. As we say Kamakala Rupam, all that is Ishvara. All that here is Ishvara, Samvarga Vidya. Then Gayatri Vidya, Brahman as the sacred Gayatri. Gayatri Vidya. Panchagni Vidya, meditation of the 5 fires. They used to keep 4 fires around the person. 4 fires will be kept. The person will be sitting in the middle and he himself will consider his inner heart as a locus of fire. Panchagni Vidya. Who is the 5th fire? The Upasaka himself. Akshi Vidya. Akshi Shabda denotes eyes. Taking granted that eyes are Brahman. Because eyes can see everything, eye cannot see itself. Based on that idea, Akshi Vidya will be done. Consciousness is the base of all Drishyam. But consciousness is not Drishyavastu. Consciousness is Drik Eva, the seer only. Antaryami Vidya. Visualizing Brahman. So for Chandogya Upanishad reference we gave, now we go to Brihadaranya Upanishad. Antaryami Vidya is told in Brihadaranya Upanishad. Akshara Vidya. Akshara. Kshara means perishable. Akshara means imperishable. Brihadaranya Upanishad. Jyotisham Jyotir Vidya. Brahman as the light of lights. Jyotisham Jyotihi. Jyotisham Jyotirvidya, Brahman as the light of light. If you read this list itself, you will get Jnana. Light of light, what is that? Asatoma, Sadgamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma, Amrutam Gamaya, that Jyotihi. Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya. What is tamas? Darkness. What is Jyoti? Light. This is Vachyartha. But the real meaning of tamas is ignorance, avidya. The real meaning of Jyotihi is Jnanam. Then Maitreyi Vidya. Maitreyi Vidya, meditation as taught by Yajnavalkya to his wife Maitreyi. Brihadaranya reference. Sarvantaratma Vidya, Brahman as the inner self of all, within you and within me and within all Brahman. Anandamaya Vidya, Brahman is the source of Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. This is the Swarupa Lakshanam of Brahman. Anandamaya Vidya. The reference is in the Anandavalli part of Taittiriya Upanishad. Varuni Vidya. Meditation as taught by Varuna. By Varuna Devata. Taittiriya Upanishad. It is there in Bhriguvalli section of Taittiriya Upanishad. Nyasa Vidya. Nyasa here means self-surrender as told by Taittiriya Narayanam reference. Parama Purusha Vidya. Param Purusha. Purushottamaha. As told in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and also told in Kathopanishad. Purushottama Yoga in Bhagavad Gita and Kathopanishad. Parama Purusha Vidya. Brahman as the Purushottamaha Parama Purushaha. Nachiketa Vidya. I told just now about Nachiketa who meditates upon fire. That fire itself is named as Nachiketa. Named behind Nachiketa, it is called Nachiketa Agnihi. Nachiketa Agnihi, Nachiketa Agnihi. Angushta Pramita Vidya. Meditating Brahman as Angushta Pramanaha. Angushta means the thumb. Paryanka Vidya. Brahman as the highest God seated in the supreme abode. The seat of Devi. Pancha Brahmasanasina Ye Namaha. Pancha Pretasana Ye Namaha. Lalita Sahasranama says, so that seat is the supreme abode. What is that supreme abode? The heart of the Bhakta. It is told in Kaushitaki Upanishad. Meditation as taught to Pratardana by the god Indra is called Pratardana Vidya. Balaki Vidya. These are all told by the saints to their devotees, to their Shishya. Akshara Para Vidya. Ishavasya Vidya. 32 Vidyas as listed. With more details we will discuss. So in Vedas, 32 Vidyas are told, but Sri Vidya is not available. Why? Sri Vidya is indirectly told. That is the argument. The Purva Pakshi may ask, Sri Vidya is non-Vedic. Why do you do Sri Vidya Upasana? It is tantric or something, they will say. Nothing is called tantric. Everything is based on Brahman. See, in all these 32 Vidyas, what do you see? Brahman, 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 Brahman. Brahman is the alambanam, central focus locus of Vidya. So this is the history of Vidya. We understand from Vedas. And what is Sri Vidya? We will start. The Sri Vidya, means, Sri means prosperity, wealth, Aishwaryam, Lakshmi. So everything in this loka is Aishwaryam, prosperity. See how many plants are growing. Who pours water to it? How many beings are taking birth? Who promotes? Everything happening spontaneously, everything is happening. Naturally, everything is happening according to the order of Ishvara. According to the order of Ishvara, everything is happening. So that itself is Shrihi. This Shrihi means the Prakriti. And when you see the Prakriti, it has creation, it has protection, it has destruction. Om Panchakritya Parayanayi Namaha. What are the Panchakrityas? Creation, protection, destruction, and disappearance and appearance. These are the Panchakrityas. Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirodhana, Anugraha are the Panchakriyas. Srishti is bringing up this world, manifesting this universe. Srishti. Sthiti is sustaining. Samhara is resolving, destroying. And who is doing all these things? Who is doing all these things? I suspect it must be man-made. Yesterday I told nothing is man-made. Man himself is not man-made, then how can be there a man-made? So everything is God-made. So Samhara, up to this Srishti Sthiti Samhara, no doubt. But while seeing this, experiencing this, one may doubt who is doing that. So disappearance. The doer of all these things, the Jagat Karanam, is not seen. That is why Tirumandiram, Tirumular says, Vanpatri Nindra Marai. Vanpatri Nindra Marai means which is in Akasha. Akasha reference comes in Dakshinamurti Stotram also. And Akasha reference is somewhat very easy to understand, very easy to teach also. Because Akasha accommodates everything. I am sitting in this room means this room gives me accommodation. And this room is accommodated in this Dayalaya building. And this Dayalaya is accommodated in a place. And it is on this earth, and this earth is on this Akasha. Everything is under Akasha. What accommodates Akasha? Nobody will have this kind of questions. Why to bother all those things? Who accommodates Akasha? In simple question, what is beyond Akasha? In Jyotisha Shastra, every Rashi is given allotted with a Panchabhuta. Fire, earth, water, air. All are accommodated. Then again it will start fire onwards. But Akasha is not seen anywhere. It means these 12 Rashis are also accommodated by Akasha. All these 4 Bhutas are accommodated by Akasha. Who accommodates Akasha? Akasha Vidya. If you meditate upon like this, it is called Akasha Vidya. Before going further, I would like to explain the 2 kinds of meditation. One meditation is concentration meditation. Laya Dhyanam, in which you will lose yourself, you will forget yourself, you will enjoy some experience. The another kind of meditation, as told in Dhyana Yoga, is contemplation. For meditation, you need a focus or locus. That locus is called alambanam. It may be a deity, or it may be a picture of deity, and you may be studying about the Kalyana Gunas of that particular deity. The Karuna Baba or Ugra Baba or some qualities you will meditating upon. And Shabda Dhyana. In Shabda also you are meditating upon a particular Artha or Nama or Rupa you are meditating upon. If at all I say it is Aim, you are meditating upon Saraswati. If I say Hrim, you are meditating upon Durga. If I say Shrim, you are meditating upon Mahalakshmi. I told one person, if you say Shrim, you will get money, because Shrim is the mantra for money. Then he said, okay, Swamiji, you give that alone. Why I should chant Aim, Hrim? Directly I will chant Shrim. Why not? No, you cannot do that. Then money will come. Money will come. You will not know how to save it, how to use it, how to protect it, or how to multiply it. For that, what do you need? You need knowledge. For knowledge, what do you need? Aim. And if money is there, you will not sleep. If somebody takes away the money, what I can do? You should have courage. For courage, what you should do? Shrim. So if you want Shrim, don't focus upon Shrim. You focus upon Aim. Aim will create Hrim. Aim and Hrim will create Shrim, prosperity. So these are 2 kinds of meditation. One is concentration meditation and another is contemplative meditation. Contemplative meditation means not only chanting Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. If you are going on chanting, nothing will be understood. Contemplating on the meaning, Artha. So Nama, Rupa, Shabda are over in concentration meditation. When you are contemplating on Artha, then there comes contemplative meditation. So in Sri Vidya Upasana also, first of all, you are praising the deity, chanting the mantra, not only deity. Om Maha Chadushashti Koti Yogini Gana Sevitayi Namaha. There are 576 crores of devatas around Devi Lalita. So you have to know all the namas. Nityaklina, Berunda, Vannivasini. All those names you have to chant and praise them. So this is a part of Upasana. Yes, this is also Upasana. Because you are going closer to Devi, Upasana, and praising with namas. Sahasranama, Lakshanama, Kotinama. If you say Sri Rama, Jayam Sri Rama, Jayam Sri Rama, Jayam Koti times, it will give you immense benefit. But it will not give you jnana. So if you chant Om Aim Hrim Shrim, Om Aim Hrim Shrim, it will give all health, wealth, prosperity, everything, but it will not give jnanam. But when you want jnanam, this will give you chitta shuddhi and takes you to the higher knowledge very easily without any obstacle. I used to say, Shreyamsi Bahu Vignani. When you go for Shreyas, when you are about to learn Jnanam, immediately lot of obstacles will come. Shreyamsi Bahu Vignani. Without Vigna, no one can learn Jnana. Either the Guru may become sick or the student may become sick. The class will stop. Or the internet connection will go online. Shut down. We make use of shutdown time. That is different. But lot of obstacles are there in learning. So what to do? Repeated prayer japa. Prarthana japa. Prarthana japa. So who is the Guru? What is the importance of the Guru? You can see or download from Google. Om Aim Hrim. If you type, it will say Shrim. You need not type Shrim. You type Om Aim Hrim, automatically Google will give you Shrim. But you will not know the meaning. Aim Kara Hrim Kara Rahasya Yukta Shrim Kara Gudartha Mahavibhutya Om Kara Marma Pratipadini Bhyam Namo Namaha Shri Guru Padukabhyam. Guru is the only one who can teach you the secrets of Aim, Hrim, Shrim and Om. That is the meaning. Aimkara, Hrimkara, Rahasya Yukta, Shrimkara, Gudartha, Mahavibhutya, Omkara, Marma, Pratipadinibhyam. The secret of Omkara is also revealed by the Guru. Who is that Guru? That Guru must be a Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru, and he should come under a parampara. Proper learning should be there for that Guru, and who is in Nishtha, not only a learned person, who is in Nishtha. Nishtha means who lives accordingly. Who lives accordingly. So he is the eligible person to teach the Vidya. And how can I get one Guru like that? It comes only through the punyas, what we have done in our past million and millions of births. In one birth, we meet our Guru. So the importance of Guru, the need of Guru is told, is justified, proved. The Guru is the only one person who can reveal the esoteric meaning, Lakshyartha, in a proper, with using a proper pedagogy, teaching methodology, etc. And he will have prakriya given by his Guru in parampara. Prakriya means a particular way of telling a thing. whatever the same udaharana example used by Adi Shankara, Bhagavan Adi Shankara, will be used by the all Parampara Gurus. Same example, Rajju Sarpa. So even though there are 32 Vidyas, Sri Vidya is not told because it is told in all these 32 Vidyas. It is a part of all these 32 Vidyas. There is no need of telling a particular thing. As I told, Akshavidya is Sri Vidya only. Brahma Vidya and Sri Vidya are one. Sri Vidya makes you the Adhikari eligible to attain Brahma Vidya. That is the one secret. Sri Vidya itself will not give moksha. Sri Vidya will make you eligible to understand the Mahavakya given by your Guru. So it is not a reductionism on Sri Vidya. Sri Vidya is supreme. But what is the definition you have for moksha is different. Sri Vidya can give Swarga moksha, Swarga mukti. Sri Vidya Upasaka can go to Sri Puram. What to do there? No need of sleeping, no need of eating, no hunger, but you will eat. Lot of things are there to eat, but you will never have hungry. You will never be hungry. What is the use? After spending all the punyas, as yesterday I told, the Swarga is to spend the punyas only. After spending, what you have to do, you have to come back to the lower lokas. Bhuvarloka, Bhuloka. Bhuloka is the karma bhumi. So now you have understood where we are standing. Sri Vidya is a way of practice which gives purification. For purification also, you need great effort. In our class, I write on board. My students will rush to rub it off after the class is over. When they use the duster to wipe off, it spreads all over the board. The marker pen. Ink of the marker pen will be applied all over the board. So it is not clean now, it is more darker now, nothing can be done. So that cleaner also should be powerful. So this Upasana Marga makes one purified to the core. So yesterday I received some calls regarding the chanting of the mantra told in the class. Now I declare you can start the chanting of Om, Aim, Hrim, Shrim, Om. This is the procedure. Concentrate in between the eyebrows, take your mala and chant Om, Aim, Hrim, Shrim, Om. Om, Aim, Hrim, Shrim, Om. From the day one, you will start seeing some changes in your life to the positive side. A great change will happen immediately because it is Ishvara. Now you are connecting yourself with Ishvara. Your Manas, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankara are now attached with Ishvara, not attached with Mithya. Om, Aim, Hrim, Shrim, Om. Someone asked, one Om is not enough? You have to say it twice? In the beginning and the end? Yes, you have to chant this Sri Vidya Trakshari mantra with Samputam of Omkara. It is for a reason. As told by our gurus, this Aim, Hrim, Shrim are having matra. Matra means the time for chanting. I will tell you later what is the matra for Aim, Hrim, Shrim. What is matra, how to use it. But now you need not worry about it. If you add 2 ohms in both sides, then you are able to chant as you like. Aim, you can chant. Aim, you can chant. As you like, you can chant. But the meaning which you have studied in the class is within you now. That will be in the Upalabdhi Sthana Buddhi. So when you chant Aim, Hrim, Shrim, it becomes a sadhana, Trayakshari sadhana. So that is the first level in Srividya, Upasana. Very soon we will start chanting the namas for 108 deities in the Sri Yantra. Lagu Sri Chakra Puja will be your first lesson. In that, when you chant Om Aim Hrim Shrim Kakara Rupinye Namaha, Om Aim Hrim Shrim Kalyana Gunashalinye Namaha, like that you are going to chant. This mantra will become the attachment with the continuous namas. Om Aim Hrim Shrim Shri Matre Namaha, Om Aim Hrim Shrim Shri Maharagni Namaha. Like that you have to chant. Now, before that, you chant Om Aim Hrim Shrim Om. Tomorrow is the best day to start this chanting. By the grace of Devi, tomorrow we have a greatest Mahalaya Paksha Amavasya. This comes once in a year, right? So tomorrow you start. Tomorrow morning and evening you can chant 108 times this mantra. Already you are a sadhaka doing Shodashi or something. This will not suit you, but 90% beginners are here. So that I am telling. So from tomorrow, you can start this. Swamiji, what is about Diksha? For that, you should understand what is Diksha. What is Diksha? Diksha is making you eligible. It is not the final thing. Diksha means it is a beginning. Most of the people think that I have attended 10 days course, and I have been initiated by Swamiji with the Panchadashakshari mantra. So I need not go and learn anything. I have studied everything. So I have become something. No, you cannot. It is the beginning of learning. So there is nothing in Diksha. No use. What is the use of Diksha? But it makes you eligible. Accreditation. It is like an accreditation. So that now I initiate you all, those who are the beginners, I am telling, now you can repeat the mantra. This is the initiation. Initiation through Shabda. Initiation through Aksha is there. Initiation through Sparsha is there. Initiation through verbal transmission is there. So this is initiation through Shabda. Now you can do a namaskara to your Kula Devata. You can praise your Kula Devi. You can praise your parents, father, mother, Mata, Pita. You can do a namaskara to your Guru and treat this as the initiation of Trayakshari mantra. And now you can repeat. Om Aim Hrim Shrim Om Om Aim, Hrim, Shrim, Om. Dhanyavadaha. Thanks for the Guru Parampara who are showering their grace on all of us, treating all of us as their own children with all love and compassion towards the whole humanity, towards the whole universe. Sri Vidya is the practice for harmony. So wherever the Sri Vidya practitioner is there won't be any fight or struggle at home. Somebody is raising, Swamiji, in my home, I am having Sri Vidya chanting, but in my home always some sounds are coming. Then you have to chant it more times. Increase your sadhana, then dukkha will come down. So I think I have taken 10 minutes more, but it is a good thing because you have to start your sadhana tomorrow. If you have any doubt in this sadhana, this is Triakshari sadhana, the first level of Sri Vidya, you can write me. I will reply immediately as I did yesterday. I replied many people yesterday. Dhanyavadaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. And there is a request while writing mails, don't put hi. Put Namaste or my dear Swamiji, respected Swamiji. These are all for Sampradaya, not for me. It is good for you. Some people who are in other countries, living in other countries, influenced by other cultures, are writing with hi. I don't know how to spell it also. He or hi or hi. How to spell HI, they are writing. I take it as he or hi. So there may be confusion. So you need not do that. In Sanskritam, he means indeed. So indeed, you are not supposed to write he. Hi. Thank you. All the best. Sorry for taking more time. Punarmilamaha.